Hi everybody. Here's the video I promised you. I wanted to talk to you guys, kind of like a vlog type deal. Just to talk about my life. I don't know why. I just feel the need to do this. So if you're interested in all about my crazy life, it's not been pleasant. It hasn't been fun. For the most part. A lot of my childhood was happy. But anyway, I want to start at the beginning, so this could be a very long video. So if you're not interested in stuff like this, just go on. I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'm going to talk about them, okay? All right, now I wrote notes because I didn't want to forget anything. This is the second time I've done this. In the first video, I skipped over a lot of things that kind of were important. So, as usual, my noses started running as soon as I started my video camera. And I know the lighting isn't very good in this. I've only got the one lamp on. But my house is such a terrible mess, I don't want light on it. Light on that subject. So anyway, I just turned 59 years old. I was born in 1955. My mother and my dad were married. This was her second husband. I have a brother that is almost like 2 years and a month older than me. I don't know what went wrong in their marriage. I don't know anything about their marriage whatsoever. But I do know that when I was almost 2, he was sentenced to go to prison. And it was for rape. She was a barfly, in other words. You know, she hung out at bars. She slept with a lot of different men. All this and that kind of stuff. Okay, well, he knew my mom and dad, my adopted mom and dad. So they arranged for my mom and dad to adopt me. I lived in the orphanage for about 6 months. Our orphanage is still here, only it's not an orphanage. It is a girls' home. It's where troubled girls live throughout their childhood or whatever. I think it's mainly for teenage girls. Anyway, at the time that he was going to jail, my mom was, it was in this town where I live now, and there was a bar. Beside that bar there was steps leading up to a bunch of apartments. That's where we lived. She would go down to the bar and drink and leave my toddler brother and me as a baby home alone all the time. So they took me away from her. I don't know at that time what happened to my brother. Okay, so I lived in the orphanage for 6 months. Then my adoptive parents adopted me. I was just about 2 years old when they adopted me. If I can find pictures, I don't know where they're even at, so I'm not even going to look right now. I was going to put some pictures in, but that's okay. So they adopted me. My life was good as far as I know. They couldn't have children. My mother had tumors, so she couldn't have children. This is my dad's second marriage, my mom's first. Let's see, what next? I've got 2 younger brothers, actually 3. I've got one that's just 2 years younger than me, one that passed away that would be 3 years younger than me, and one that is 5 years younger than me. Okay. We all have different dads. She was married like 7 times, and so was he. They both were multiple. What do you? I don't remember. I don't know what you call that. Anyway, married multiple times. Okay, so when I was 7, we moved out of this town and moved to a farm about 15 miles from here. We lived there until I was about 11, and then we moved to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, if you know that place, where we lived for a couple years, until I was 13, I believe, 14, maybe 14. While we were there, I was 12 years old. My brother called me, my oldest brother. He was still with my mom. My younger brothers were with her also, except for the one that had died. They found me. They knew who I was going to, so they found me. And we talked and stuff. I don't really remember my mom telling me about when I was adopted and stuff. I very vaguely remember it, and she told me she said that she told me when I was about 7. So I knew I was adopted. I don't know that I understood it, but I knew that I was adopted. So anyway, to go on from there, we moved back here when I was 14, and we rented a home here. And then we moved. I started junior high here, and that was the start of my downfall, because I went to peer pressure and I started smoking and lying. My friends were stealing stuff. I got accused of stealing stuff, which I didn't. At that point, I hadn't yet anyway, but I got accused of it by the police because I was with them when they did it, even though I didn't do it. They found boxes of stuff in my one friend's house that she had stolen makeup and stuff, and I didn't even use makeup at that time, and I didn't steal anything anyway. So anyway, we moved to, it's called Artesian. It's a town about 25 miles from here, and that's where I graduated from. Our big old town. I was one of 20 kids that graduated out of there. Anyway, it was a typical small town. If you dated anybody that I never dated, I dated one guy throughout my high school that lived in Artesian. Otherwise, I dated from around, and so of course I was pregnant every other week, and I was a whore and this and that, which I wasn't, but I dated, I had boyfriends, stuff like that. Anyway, I graduated from there. After the year I graduated, actually, I was in the accident where I went through the windshield. You've seen all my scars. I've had 50 stitches in my face. Turns out I was pregnant. I did not know it. So after my accident, I went and I stayed with my real mom for a little while. I met them, by the way, to go back just a tiny bit. While I was in high school, I was 17, I met them for the first time. My big brother and my 2 little brothers and my real mom. They came to a town by us, and then I went to meet them. And I met them, okay, on and on and on. Anyway, so after I graduated and I was in this accident, I went to stay with them for a little while, for a matter of months. And I lost the baby while I was there, and it was due to the accident. Things just happen. I was about 4 months pregnant. I didn't even know I was pregnant when I was in the accident. And of course they took x-rays and everything. Maybe that's what killed it. I don't know. Anyway, it was probably for the best. I wasn't married, this and that. So then I came back home. A while later, I met my to-be husband. We went together for about 1.5 years, and then we got married. We're married about 16 months, had my son Casey, and a couple years after that we divorced. He was very violent. but I can't blame everything on him because I've got a lot of issues. I've got abandonment issues. I don't know what, I've never been to a shrink, but they would have a heyday with me, I know. But, I've got every relationship I've ever had, every single relationship I've ever had, I have been the cause of the breakup. I sabotage my life over and over and over. I just figure out some way to get him out of my life. Well, my ex, I started going out with a girlfriend, and that was the first time he hit me. And I'm not condoning him hitting me. That was wrong. That's the whole reason I left him. But if I would have stayed home like a nice little wife and not started running around, he would have never had reason to hit me. But that's not saying he wouldn't have found some other reason to hit me. Okay? So it's not all me, but I feel like it is. Anyway, he got very violent, and my son started screaming in the middle of the night. And that's when I knew I had to leave him. Okay, so when we divorced, it was really messy. I gave him everything because I just wanted out. Gave him the house. We were buying a house, everything. Everything went to him. I took what I had when I started. So, anyway, he was still, we had broken up lots of times, and I'd moved back home, and then he'd talk me into coming back, and then it'd start all, the same old around and around and around thing would start. Well, he asked me, the last time he asked me to marry him, I told him no. He asked me many times after we divorced. He wanted to remarry me. A week later, he married this other woman. And he's still married to this other woman. But she was pregnant. And I didn't know it. And they had this baby in January, and then they got married in March. And they'd already had this baby, and he asked me to remarry him. Isn't that crazy? The thing is, I still love him. And I'll always love him. He was my one and only, as far as I'm concerned. We barely speak, but that's just in my mind. He's the only man I'll ever love. Anyway, to go on. After that, I went kind of crazy, and I started running around. Casey was at this babysitter. He was at that babysitter. I don't think I was a very good mother. I straightened myself out, but I just went a little nuts after that. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I was drinking and doing drugs and sleeping around and you name it. I was turning into my real mom, I guess. Anyway, I'm trying to look at my... I went and stayed... Casey moved in with his dad for a while. He found out it wasn't all roses there, because his stepmom wasn't the greatest person to live with. Okay, so he moved back. We lived with my mom. We had an apartment in the basement, a completely sufficient apartment in the basement. So we lived there. Casey went to school. Let's see here. Casey went to school, went off to college. I went and lived in another town and worked for a while. And then I met this guy. My brother had come to see me, my middle brother, the one that's 2 years younger than me, had come to see me, and he was a truck driver. And this guy was riding with him. He was learning to be a truck driver. And I met him and fell head over heels. And he lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That's where my real mom lived. That's where my brothers lived. I'll tell you about my older brother here in a minute. But so I decided I was going to go up there and live with this guy. So I went to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Got there at Easter weekend it was, and lived in my real mom's basement, until we could get enough money to, get a place of our own and all this kind of stuff. We just found a place of our own and stuff, and she started having this bunch of problems. She had scleroderma, which is like a very, very strong arthritis. Your insides can turn almost like to stone. Your insides harden. In some people, your extremities can't take the cold. You have to wear gloves or real thick socks all the time because your hands turn numb and turn blue and all this kind of stuff. She would have a hangnail, and she had to have half her finger cut off. She scraped her leg on a chair one day, and she had a crater in her leg, and I'm not kidding you. Anyway, one day her stomach was all swollen, so she went to the hospital, and they did emergency surgery, and she had a perforated bowel. And that was it was something to do with her scleroderma, but not a direct result of it. Anyway, she was in the hospital for quite a while because her incision wouldn't heal, and that was result of the scleroderma. The scleroderma was keeping her from healing, and so she died. I was with her when she died, and then I stayed in Cedar Rapids for another couple of years. The guy, like I said, was a truck driver. He didn't come home for a couple of weeks. My brother calls and tells me that he's at his house, which is only a few blocks from me, with his new wife. We had lived together for 3 years, and he met somebody out on the road and he married her. Just like that. And so he took me to court for a bunch of his things. Well, I gave him back what I thought he should have, and I told the judge, well, he took the rest of it with him. So I kept it. Which wasn't a whole lot. I mean, we didn't have much. So anyway, I moved back here. And my brother, I wanted to tell you about my big brother. He's been in and out of jail since he was 18. He was actually in a halfway, remember I told you I met him when I was 17. He was actually living in a halfway house at that time. He was a heroin junkie, and has been all of his life. Now he would be 60, he'd be going to be 61 in December. I have no idea if he's alive or if he's dead. I tried to get a hold of him after our mother died, and I couldn't find him. Last I knew, he was in a federal penitentiary in Texas somewhere. And if it's federal, it's got to be dealing or distribution of some sort, I would think. But anyway, that's the last I knew. And nobody's heard from him, nothing. So we don't know if he's dead or alive. Anyway, my folks were going to adopt him, but I really don't know why they didn't. It had to do with something with his father, and that's why they couldn't adopt him. So you wonder what kind of life he would have had if we would have been together. How much different my life would have been. Would it have been better? Would it have been worse? You know what I mean? Anyway, I came back in 2002. I quit smoking in 2002, by the way. I had smoked every day of my life for 33 years. Never a day without a cigarette. And I put on a patch. Patches are 3 step downs. By the time I was done with the first box, I was wearing them for 2 days. You're only supposed to wear them for 1. But I was wearing them for 2 days. My second box, I didn't even finish half of it. And I was done. I haven't picked up a cigarette since. I'm very proud of myself. Anyway, but that was in 2002, and I came back. My adopted dad passed away in March of 2003. He had cancer. That was the worst thing that I've ever been through in my life. My dad was my world. Anyway, then my real dad passed away in 2007, and he also had cancer. He had prostate cancer. My adopted dad had started out with lung cancer, and it went to his bones. It was pretty bad, but it was fast, so that's a good thing. Okay, so up to now, I have my son is happily married, lives in Portland. He got married in 2003, in July 4th, as a matter of fact. And my granddaughter Clover is 5, and my grandson Connor is a year. He'll be 2 in February. So the bad thing is I've seen Clover twice. She's 5, and I've seen Connor once because I don't have any money. They come home every other year. So this year they won't be home. Next year they'll be home. So I'll get to see my grandkids every other year of their life, which is sad. I mean, Connor, he was 10 months old when I saw him, so he doesn't know who I am. I don't even get to talk to him on the phone. I talked to my son for his birthday in October, but I hadn't talked to him for months before then because he's a wonderful husband. He's a wonderful father. Truly, he is. They couldn't have picked a better man to be a husband and father, but he's a terrible son. He just, I don't know, maybe it's payback. That's kind of what I think. I think he resents me. He says he doesn't, but I think he does. I've made so many mistakes in my life. I haven't had, like I said, I haven't had a cigarette since 2002. I rarely drink. I'm very much a homebody. I'm very much a loner. I don't have any friends. I have people I go to school with that I consider my friends. I have people I work with that I consider my friends. But I don't have any friends. You know what I mean? Friends that I can just call and say, hey, let's go to the store, or let's go have a drink, or something. I don't have any of those. I haven't for many, many, many years. I'm alone. I suffer from depression, and it's been kicking my ass the last few weeks. First of all, when I talk about depression, I've never, one time I've thought about hurting myself, but I didn't do anything about it. I have never, would never, I can't say never because you can't, you don't know what's going to happen. But, felt like a light went off or something. I don't know. But I would never hurt myself. Aha, computer. Let me turn my computer on so we get some different light here. There, that's a little better, isn't it? Depression for me is lethargy. I sit in this chair. I sit and look at my computer screen, or I sit and I watch movies, or sit and look out the window. That's all I do, besides homework, like I did homework tonight. You know, I'm in school full time. My house, as you can see behind me, is an absolute pit because I don't feel like cleaning it. I live in an itty-bitty thing. You should see my bedroom. Oh my God. I'm ashamed to even go in there myself, much less have anybody else. I won't have anybody else in here. You know, a guy come in to fix the furnace yesterday. I had to shut all my doors so he wouldn't look in. It's a mess, and I just don't feel like cleaning it. I don't have the ambition. I don't have the energy. I don't want to. It's like, you know, it's not that I'm a lazy person, because I'm not. It's that I hate my life. My life sucks. Oh, I'm so sorry I said that. Let me get a grip here. It's just that I'm 59 years old, and what am I going to do? I'm trying to find a job. Nobody wants to hire somebody that's 60 years old. I could be a greeter at Walmart or something, you know? I don't know why I'm going to school. Why, who's going to hire me? I work part-time, and that is only because job service is paying my wages. I work 12 to 5, Monday through Thursday. And I like that because I can do my homework. I can, you know, I just answer phones. I dress up. You know, it's kind of fun. I like a job where I can wear a dress or a skirt. I love that. Wear a little bit of makeup, you know. I don't wear makeup like I've got on today normally. I don't wear foundation every day because I've got pretty good skin. But I do, you know, wear some makeup every single day. And that's a good job. I wish I could have that job full time. But that job doesn't pay the rent. I get like $144 a week for working 20 hours. Then I get unemployment. Well, my unemployment is over the second week in December. Then what am I going to do? Because I get $230 a week. And those two combined, I can barely make my rent. I get $44 a month in food stamps. Now you tell me there is not something wrong with this country. I know I don't have any children, and food stamps and stuff is made for children. But I am way below poverty level, and I get $44 a month in food stamps. That's all I'm eligible for, and nothing else. I can't get any other help. My grandkids are going to have to go without presents this year because I have no money to buy a present. I can't even hardly pay my cable bill, and I have to have my internet for my school, and I can't pay it. I lost my insurance. I have no health insurance. I just lost it. I lost my car insurance. I don't have any car insurance because I can't pay the frickin' bills. Now, before I go any farther, I do not want any one of you to think that I am asking for anything from you, because I'm not. I am just telling you my story. I am looking for a job. Every day I go on the job service website. I have applied and applied and applied. There's a local old folks home here that I've applied to twice, and I've gotten 2 interviews. I haven't gotten either job, but one was for a receptionist and one was for medical records. But I got interviews for them. Nobody else will even give me a frickin' interview. Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why. I worked for a blood donation company. Kind of like the Red Cross, but it's not the Red Cross. I don't want to name it. I was a phlebotomist, and a phlebotomist is the person that draws the blood for donation. Okay. I forgot a step. You have to clean their arm before you put the needle in. I forgot to clean the arm. That's potentially dangerous. So I got fired the next day. The lady was smart enough. She had donated enough to know that I missed that step, and she called and reported me. I got fired. So that's a bad strike. so my age is counting against me, plus I got fired. So I don't even get interviews. I've applied and I've applied and I've applied and no interviews. I don't know what I'm going to do. I had to use last year, I had to use my retirement from that job to live. So now I have no retirement to fall back on. What a mess I've made of my life. Now that you guys know everything about me, I've held nothing back. I'm a mess, I know. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I just am telling my story. So now it's time to go back to doing haul. Well, I won't be doing hauls for a while. I'll just have to figure out how to get ready with me's and outfit of the days and stuff like that, because I won't be doing any hauls for a while until I can get a better job, if I ever get one. Think positive, right? I am going to get a job, and it's going to be a decent one. Now, speaking of jobs, I took that job at the motel, remember? Working overnights. Well, it scared me so frickin' bad because they have no security. The back doors are wide open to that place, I mean unlocked. The night before they hired me, which they didn't disclose to me, there was a lady that went a little crazy. The cops had to come, they shot her, and she died. She died. She was in critical condition in the hospital as I was being interviewed and as I was working my first night. Nobody disclosed that to me until I read it in the news, or until I heard it the next day. So it was very scary to work and expect me, an older woman, to work overnights by myself. I quit. I couldn't handle the stress of that job. So anyway, stress and worry and all this that's why I have all of this. I've gained so much weight because I'm such a recluse. I sit at home and eat junk. So my bones hurt so bad, and I'm getting arthritis. I can't get out and walk. I'd like to go swimming. I can go swimming through my school at the rec center, but I don't go because I have to go by myself. And isn't that crazy? I can't even get myself motivated to go 2 blocks to the swimming pool and go swimming. I have a swimming suit, but I don't go. It's actually right across the street from my job. I could go every night after I get off work, but I don't go. I should just throw my swimsuit and stuff and my towel and stuff in my bag and just go after work tomorrow. Anyway, I think that's about enough. I don't have any idea how long this video has been. It's not showing me time and date on there, or time on there like it usually does. I must have pushed a different button. But anyway, for those of you that have stuck through, thank you so much. You don't have no idea how much I appreciate you guys and how much I count on hearing from you and watching your videos, and I love it, and I love you guys, and things will get better. I know they will. I just had to vent, and who else can I vent to? Things will get better. I'll get a different job. I will continue on with my schooling. Schooling is going well. I've got 4 A's and a B. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I've been doing very well in school. So that's good. That's good. That's a good part of my life. And I love going to school, even though it's online. I wish I would have done it through the school, though. I really do. You know. And I will be getting some money from school, from my loans in January, but to make it through till January is what's scaring me. Crazy. Just, it sucks I have never been so broke and so felt so alone in my whole life. I've never, see, I went a little crazy. Remember all my hauls? I went crazy with that frickin' money. I have no idea how to budget. I have no idea how to, I'm an impulse shopper. I have no idea how to control that. I've been very careful lately because I have no money. My bank actually closed my checking account just this last week because I owe them so much money. I could be in trouble for that, which scares me a little bit too. To think, you know, I could go to jail. I really could, because I owe them about $800. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye for now. I love you all very much, and thank you so much for watching till the end. If you did, I'm sorry. I know it was rather boring, but this is for me as much for anybody else. Things have one way to go, right? I consider myself lucky. I've got a home over my head. I've got a car to drive. I've got my best buddy. I have got a mother. I've got my son. I'm not living out of a cardboard box. I'm not having to walk to work or take a bus or anything like that. Job service helps me with gas every couple of weeks. So I'm lucky. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.